If you've been searching online for the ultimate DJ CRM, look no further. This is the last DJ CRM you will ever need.
Load the van at 4 a.m. Cables tangle, coffee gone. GPS says wrong turn. Clients texting, where you at? Come on. Sweat, repeat.
Hi, my name is DJ Paul Anthony, and I've been a mobile DJ for the last 25 years. And in that time, I've DJed thousands of mobile gigs and had some awesome DJ residencies as well. In the first 15 years of my DJ career, I grew my DJ business up from just being me as a solo up to owning and managing over 16 sets of equipment, doing 80 to 100 gigs a month. Since then, I've downsized my DJ business, turned it into more of a DJ agency, and I've developed my own CRM now for DJs around the world to use themselves. And I believe I built the ultimate DJ CRM, something you gotta try. Let's take a deep dive into it. So the last DJ CRM you will ever need is in fact EMPDJ. And we're going to start by having a guided tour with the dashboard, and then I'm going to go over some of the most important features that really make a difference when it comes to running your mobile DJ business. Now, first of all, we start at the dashboard. We have some of our most important metrics, inquiries, sales, and those things coming in over time. So the good thing is that we can kind of switch between different types of charts and see trends of sales and inquiries over time, which is really important for managing your DJ business. The other thing we have here is our upcoming events. So, anything that's booked showing up in the calendar. If we have multiple events, like if you're a multi-op, you can also see when there's multiple events on the same night. All of that's really important, and you can connect this calendar with your Google Calendar or Microsoft Outlook and keep in sync all the time that way as well. Now, I know a lot of DJs, they love dark mode. If we go up here, we can actually switch the app to dark mode, and we've got a really awesome design for that as well. So let's keep it on dark mode for a little bit. Further down, we have the recent activity. This is kind of like your Facebook feed where you can see things going on. It could be an inquiry coming in, a payment, someone signed a contract. Everything shows up in your recent activity. Then further over here, we have our follow-ups. Now, some other apps might call this our pipeline phases or stages or something like that, right? I call them follow-ups because I come from a sales background. So every event is in some stage that you need to follow it up, right? And if it doesn't have a follow-up date, then it won't be on the list. It'll just show 0, and that means it doesn't need to be followed up. So what happens is we have an inquiry form. I'm going to put it back to light mode. We have an inquiry form, and when people complete that inquiry form that's on your website, they're going to go into the new inquiries, and the workflows is going to start to follow them up immediately, right? So we have a workflow automations. We send them an email, we send them an SMS, and they go into your follow-ups. Now you're going to get a little notification up here. Say someone made an inquiry, and from there, you'll be able to go and follow them up. Now, these stages are new inquiry. That's where they come in. When someone replies to one of your emails or SMS, EMP is checking your inbox and will automatically stop those automations that are going out. Now, as far as I know, no other CRM is doing that at the moment. I'm sure they will catch up eventually, but right now, no other CRM's doing it. I have spoken to many DJs. I've actually done Zoom calls with hundreds of DJs over the years and found out a lot of information about what other softwares are lacking. And this is actually a huge one because DJs quite often, they forget to turn off the follow-ups. Like you might have an email going out to someone saying, hey, we had an inquiry from you a few days ago. I'm just following up to see if you received the information. Now, if you've already spoken to the customer, it's going to look silly if they get that email. So by the app automatically stopping an automation when they reply to an SMS, then that way they're not going to get those awkward, emails and things. Now, that's the replied leads. Obviously, what we also have inside EMPDJ is something kind of like Calendly. People can actually book in an appointment and schedule a consultation or a callback. And then what's going to happen is when they do schedule that in, it's going to automatically move them into pre-consultation. Right? Now, in that consultation, you're going to provide the customer with a quote over the, in a meeting or in a callback over the phone, and then you're going to quote them, and after that you move it to quoted. That's if they don't book. If they're ready to book, then what you're going to do is you're going to move it over to get deposit. So you can actually relabel these how you want. It could say get retainer. It could say send contract, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, this will send them a link to the booking form where they can review the details, sign a contract, and then head straight over to the checkout page and pay that retainer or deposit. Now, in terms of payment methods, EMPDJ has many different payment methods. Let me show you some of those over here. We're going to go to the settings and go to payment gateways. And what we have here is Stripe, Square. For European DJs, we have Molly. We have bank transfer, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Check, and Zelle. So quite a lot of payment methods. That's also another strength of EMPDJs, having a robust system with lots of options. Now, in terms of those sort of payment setup, if we go down to payment plans, you can actually change the word deposit to any word you want. So let's say you want to call it retainer, bam, retainer. You want to call it booking fee, bam, booking fee. So it's very customizable, and here you will set, is that retainer going to be a set amount? Like, I used to just always collect a $300 deposit, but you might have a set amount like a percentage or something like that, right? Then you also want to decide when is your final payment due. You can do that here when you expect that to be due, and then obviously at the checkout, they're also going to be able to choose a payment plan as well, so you can actually set that up in the payment settings. Now back to the dashboard and the follow-ups. Once they pay that retainer, there's a workflow automation that's going to automatically switch that event to booking confirmed, right? Because once they confirm, they paid the retainer, deposit, they're confirmed. That happens, and we send them a link to the customer's login portal. Once they get to the login portal, then they can go in and start playing the music. And EMPDJ has a full music planner as well. And I've created all the templates. So things like, music plan, wedding plan, booking form, inquiry form. I've created all the templates for you, so you don't have to spend hours setting this stuff up. And that's actually another big strength of EMPDJ. I've heard a lot of other systems where you have to, spend weeks setting them up, basically. So then what happens is, maybe a week or two out before the event, you're going to mark the event as confirmed, and then that can send the customer a final confirmation. After the event, we go and collect the feedback. We send a link to the feedback form, and that's pretty much all the phases. Obviously, done means done, and if someone doesn't go ahead, then means they're cancelled, right? Down here, we have a few other little kind of things on the dashboard just to keep you in the know. Now, some of the main tools we have here, let's see, we have our main event list, right? This is where we're following up our inquiries. So you can see the phases up the top here, right? The new inquiry. When the new inquiries come in, they're going to show up here, After you've quoted them, they show up here. And essentially what you do is you're going to click one of these events on the list. I'm going to use this one because it's a test event. And you're going to look at the activity and see when did this inquiry come in, what kind of correspondence have we had with them so far, and then you might want to send them an email, which you can do from here. So you can actually just click send email, and from here you can actually basically load in a template. Maybe you've got a nice little cookie cutter email you like to send out to people, or you can you can also send them an SMS as well. The cool thing about the email thing is once you get your email in there, we actually have got some AI built into the application as well. So let's say I want to revise this with AI. I want to say, let's make this shorter and more concise, right? Now, I've just picked a random template here. It says, just 1 week until your event. We're excited to celebrate with you. I don't even know what we're saying in this email, but I can say anything here. I could say, mention the upsell for our photo booth package for $295 for 3 hours, right? So we put that in there, apply revision, and within about 5 seconds, the AI says, looking to capture even more moments, consider adding photo booth to the package. So that quick and easy to revise and polish your emails before you send them out to people. The other cool thing is we've got this signature thing right here. So with EMP, you can actually build automatically a really beautiful looking signature. So let's go back over here to the inbox. Now from the inbox, again, this is another feature of EMPDJ, an entire email inbox. So you connect your email and then suddenly you can send and receive emails, and that's how EMP is able to automatically stop some of these workflows when people reply. But right now I want to show you the signature. Over here we have many different templates we can choose. I can like click through them, right, and try different sort of styles of a template. And then these are all HTML signatures, so they look really good, and they're all very professional, right? So the other things we can do is, well, the main tools or the main building blocks of a good CRM is that we need forms, right? So I built all the forms for you. We've got an inquiry form. We've got the callback form, which is kind of like that Calendly-Style follow-up form. Consultation, which is sort of what I put out to wedding clients. Then we've got the music planner tool, wedding planner, which is wedding planner is more like a questionnaire. Music planners, they can actually add a Spotify link, YouTube links. They can fully modify and customize that playlist, and then that attached to the event plan. And then we've got the booking form and the feedback form, and they're all the main forms we have. Now we have a full form builder tool with quite a lot of power inside of that. So inside the form builder, we have many different form elements that you can add to a form, right? So let's say I want to add a new text input. I just drag it in there. I put the question I want over there, and bam, that's connected to the form. Now, a lot of these things, especially with the booking form, are mapped to the actual event. So like the first name here, for example, that is mapped to the first name of the customer of the event. So that just happens naturally because I've already got it set up there for you. But down the track, you can start getting more advanced with the way you set up your forms. But if we go and look at something like the music planner form, for example, here we have some more advanced tools. Like we have for the background music, I've actually got some specific music planning tools. So we got like the music planner thing right here, right? Then we've got a SoundCloud genre selector tool. This allows people to listen to different genres of music and choose which ones they want. And we've also got just a general playlist link tool for them to connect, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, Apple, about 5 or 6 major platforms, and Deezer as well, right? So that all connects to the music plan form. Now, the other important thing you need for a really good CRM, and what makes this super important, is having your automations in place. So I've built all the automations based on my 25 years experience running a DJ business. And this is going to save you a ton of time, because this is the system. It's not just simply about having workflows. It's also about having the workflows built for you, right? And here's the other thing, like some people say, oh, you can build a DJ CRM in a day. You can't build a CRM in one day. It'll take weeks just to set this up, even with AI, to be able to make it work like clockwork, because the workflow automations is the crux of the CRM. The DJ CRM is nothing without the workflows. If your emails don't send exactly on time, leading up to an event and after an inquiry, or reminding people at certain times, then you ain't got a business. So this is incredibly important that this is really tight. And so EMPDJ has a very good system of auditing all scheduled emails, outbox sent emails, the history of automations, and even other advanced things such as having the automations run to a schedule, right? You can actually say that after 11 p.m. at night, I'm going to turn that on. Don't send emails to anyone, only the inquiry email, the initial response. But then we wouldn't want to send someone an SMS at 3 a.m. saying, hey, did you get that information I sent you? Because they're going to think it's weird, right? So we've got those kind of advanced systems in place. Now, if we go and look at the actual workflows tool, I've built all the workflows that you will need to have your business running, right? So this is the general inquiry one. The trigger is that when a form is completed, inquiry form, then we want to send them this information. But many things can trigger a workflow automation. So we've got, when the timeline's completed, when an event's created, when a event phase is changed, when a contractor is assigned, invited, when a chatbot lead is created. So we've also got an AI chatbot you connect to your website. The AI chatbot can email a customer for you, right? So it's not just the chat. It's actually a chat that does things for you. So it's more like an AI agent. So many different things you can do there, that they're all triggers, but then there's also actions. So, in the actions, someone completes the inquiry form, we start by sending them this email, right? So here's the email template editor. We're going to look at the first email template, for example, right? And we see here's the email template and here are all the shortcodes. Now there's many, many different shortcodes, and these connect to your event, whether it's the occasion or the start time or, someone who's been invited to an event, the DJ or contractor on the job, a million things. And you can actually just search. Let's say I want to find the occasion. I type that over here. And bam, that's right there, right? Now, I've got all the emails already written for you. I've already got links already set up and shortcodes. EMPDJ also has a online dynamic brochure, so automatically creates a brochure for you, right? Literally, you use AI, scans your website, creates the FAQs for you. You put a little introduction text, and it creates a brochure, which you can actually then go and put that link into your email. And it's going to give someone a customized brochure with a quote based on their event, right? So I'll share that in a moment. But again, this is the where we go and edit the email templates, and we have a link to our schedule a callback form. Let me show you that, by the way. So here's an example of the schedule a callback form. Essentially, this is like Calendly, right? And I've used to pay for Calendly myself, right? And one of the reasons I paid for Calendly is because I liked in particular to have the power to have SMS reminders so that people show up to the meetings, right? But with EMPDJ, you can go and connect your Twilio account, TextMagic, and send SMS. And I've already built the automation workflows over here in the workflows for appointment workflows. So when someone books an appointment, it sends a bunch of confirmations, right? And then leading up to the event, it actually will send them reminders, 1 day before, 4 hours before, 1 hour before. It's all built for you, right? Now, back to the main automation. This is like when an inquiry form is completed. What I do is essentially I split it up between the wedding leads and then the wedding inquiries and then the non-wedding inquiries. But you can actually take it a step further. I've got it here that it says occasion is not wedding, or occasion is wedding. But you could actually say if the occasion is a corporate function, then send this one, or if it's a school function, then send this email workflow. So you can create different workflows for different event types or many different conditions, not just event types. So I've got a really nice follow-up sequence, but essentially you can come in here and tweak some of these. If you don't like something here, you can actually just edit an email or an SMS, and then you can use the AI to revise it and help you, polish that sort of system. So that's the workflows. Now, that's also another part of the EMPDJ system. But what I want to show you next is the client portal. So I'm actually going to go to this test event I've created over here. And this one is created as I think it's a company, a business is linked to it. Now, from the event details pop-up, first of all, before we go and look at the client portal, let me show you this. We've got this kind of like a little dashboard of the event. We can see the event timeline, some messages that have come in, but essentially we can edit, the event details, venue details, additional details, secondary names. Sales follow-up is where we actually change the phases. So like when you speak to someone and you want to change it to quoted, then you go and change that here. Or if someone's ready to book, then you go and move that over here. So that's where you go and do that. And, of course, in the sales section, we see, if someone has mentioned whether they found us on Google or anything like that as well. The other thing is we have this messages tab. From the messages tab, this is where we see all email and SMS coming in. So we see our sent emails and SMS on the right, and we see the customer's emails, received SMS, on the left side. And that, then, from here, we can literally send email and SMS as well, right? The activity tab is very important. This is actually where we leave notes. So you say, spoke to this lady on the phone. She said, call back next Thursday, right? So let's say you set follow-up date to call back next Thursday. Then you come back to the sales tab and you're going to change the follow-up date to next Thursday. And by doing that, by moving that follow-up date into the future and saying, yeah, I spoke with that person, it's quoted now, and I've changed the follow-up date into the future. What happens is this, you'll see that was on 10 before, now it's gone down to 9. Because it's your to-do list getting done. So as you write a note, set a follow-up date into the future, you can get that sort of gratification of seeing the list get smaller and smaller and smaller as you complete your day's work. Now, I want to go and find that event. I need to go to the quoted tab, and I'm going to turn off the follow-ups button and find that test event, right? So I'll put my name in here. Now, I won't go through all of the tabs here. There's quite a lot of stuff. I will show you the event plan. The event plan is essentially like the job sheet. The job sheet is what the DJs see on their side. The event plan is what you as an admin see on your side. So we have this, event plan with details of the event, the full time schedule, any notes, any questions and answers from the forms that have been filled in, floor plan, and if any playlists have been added from Spotify, they also show up down there as well, right? So let's go and have a look at the client portal, right? So I'm going to click this button here, and we're going to go and have a look how that looks. While that's opening up, I'm going to show you, if we go to our settings and we go to branding, from the branding settings, we can upload all of our logos. We can also design by adding the login background and the login portal header image. And EMPDJ comes built in with its own mobile app, but it's actually your mobile app. So once you set up the custom domain, customer gets to your your login screen. If they're on Apple and they get to your login screen on Safari, then they can install your app. So it uses your business name, your logo, your app, right? Literally. So you can design how that looks over here, and then basically once they get to the portal, this is how it's going to look for them on their side. So from the client side, this is how it looks. Now it is designed as a desktop app, but also is a mobile app. So let's say they're actually on a mobile. I'll show you how that is going to look, right? So on a mobile, this is how it looks once they log in, and they can do everything on the phone. It's literally primarily designed for mobile and secondarily designed for desktop, right? So now they select from the dashboard upcoming or past events, upcoming event. Here's my test event, right? And from here, they can go and start doing in a music plan or event timeline, or they can actually manage their event and, schedule another callback, or maybe go through the booking form, invoice, chat and everything. We actually even have a chat, and this goes directly to the communications page in the admin side. So you can literally DM the customer, they can DM you back. And if you've got the app installed, it also has push notifications. So that's that. Now let's go and have a look while we're here. Now the customer can actually go and upload an event image there if they want. They can put the avatar, and once they put the avatar, it's really cool because then you can see it from your side as well in the admin. Let's go and have a quick look at the timeline, right? So if the customer wants to complete a timeline for their event, we can create timeline templates. So if it's a wedding, then use this template. If it's a corporate, use that template. And we have different timeline templates. But let's say I want to change the speeches on this one here. It's not click and drag. Actually, what we do is we just change the time and say, actually, no, I want the speeches to go at 9:30, right? So as soon as I change the time, 9:30, bam, reorders it, just like that. And the other thing is, let's say we want to do, say, introduction. You can actually go and paste in links here, and it's going to recognize which platform that's from and put the links into the timeline as well. Now let's go back and have a look at the actual music planner. And I rebuilt this music planner I made into a WordPress plugin bundle. It's still, you can still find the song selector tool online on the WordPress plugins directory. But let's have a look at it, right? So music planner, we get some demographics. How formal is your event? Is it a cocktail function? How many people are expected? What's the average age group? You know, we ask some questions about the party to find out more about them and what to expect. So when you go and DJ, you're not just walking in, you know, without a clue in the world, right? Next, we want to ask customers something about their taste in music, you know, what kind of music they like. Now, if they click it once, it tags it as a like. If they click it twice, it tags it as a don't like. So you can decide what the tags are, and you can fully customize and create your own tags. And you can also customize this and add your own genres as well. Then over here, customers can choose the music they like. So let's say they really like, you know, Justin Bieber. They can put that in here, and it's going to search the Spotify directory and put that in there. But then let's say they don't like something. Let's say they say Lady Gaga, right? They want to put Lady Gaga in there, right? I'm going to pick any song, and then we can actually tag this and say, no, this is a don't play, for example, right? So we do that. Now, everything saves in real time, even before they refresh the page. So the customer's never going to accidentally lose their plan. You know, like if they put some information in, they close the browser, they come back another day, everything's saved, right? So that's that. Now, the way I break up the music, I say, what do you want for background music? You know, while people are having their meals or cocktails and that sort of thing. And then after the speeches, when the, you know, cutting of the cake or whatever, what do you want for dancing music? So again, I sort of put it in the hands of the customer what they want to choose. The other thing they can do is we've got this genre selector. So let's say I click play here. I've created 30-second samples of about 40 or 50 genres of music, and I put them into this SoundCloud player, and so people can actually listen to it and then decide if they want to have this genre of music, right? So they select that. You can actually put your own SoundCloud links in there if you want. You know, I've got like a don't play sort of a thing, and they can put that in there as well. And then the other cool thing, and probably the coolest part, is the Spotify playlist selector. So let me go and find a random playlist, like top 40. Now, it's not going to work with official Spotify playlists, but anything else, you can go and paste the link in here, right? So we're going to go down to the, not here, over here, right? So we paste that in. And what it does is going to load in all of those songs. So this playlist has 100 songs on it. We now have the 100 songs loaded. The customer can search this. Let's say they type in Bruno and say, yep, I want all the Bruno songs. Let's say they want to type in Lady Gaga. They say, you know, don't play Lady Gaga, for example, because I'm not a huge fan of her. And anything else. Let's say it's Taylor Swift. They want to say must play. They can actually go and tag the songs, right? And later on your event plan, it's going to show the songs as they are, all tagged, right? So I'm just going to add another bunch of songs. Let's say must play, must play, must play. Cool, right? So we got all of that. Let's just save that for now, right? Now you can put a limit on how many songs they can choose. So instead of them giving you like a playlist with 300 songs, you can say, look, you can choose a playlist, but just pick 30 songs, for example, and then you can limit what they can, you know, provide you with, so that you don't get this kind of overwhelm of too many songs. You know, can the DJ take requests, blah, blah. That's the event music plan, right? So let's go back to the event side now, right? And now I want to show you the actual event plan, because once that's filled in, now we can actually start to see the questions and answers. So all those questions and answers that I just answered now, these are the questions and answers. So this is what creates your event plan to follow. Now in the bottom, we have all the playlists with the songs grouped in the tags. So you can see that all the Taylor Swift songs, must play, must play, must play, don't play, Lady Gaga, blah, blah. That's that. And then you're going to, you know, print this out, and then this gives you the event plan with all the details on it in one PDF, you know, event details, timeline, questionnaire, songs, and everything, right? Now, if you are a multi-op, you can just go over to your contractor section and you can assign a DJ. And when you assign a DJ, you can just put them right on the job, like just no choice, put them on the job, or you can send an invitation out. And when you send an invitation, there's two ways that they can be invited: a first come, first serve sort of situation, or require admin approval. So first come first serve is good when you want to just flick out 3 or 4 invitations, and whichever one of your DJs accepts the job first, they're on the job, right? The other scenario is when you want them to require admin approval, meaning 3 or 4 DJs say they can do the job, and then you get to choose which one of those 3 DJs you want to do the job. So there's a global setting for this, but then there's also a event-based one which you can override here and set that. So that's for the contractor assignments. And the next cool feature I want to show you is the setlist feature. Now, essentially what happens is once you get those playlists from the customer, like this one here, you can load this into what we call a set list. It's just basically another word for a playlist, but instead of the playlist that the customer gave you, you can now put together your own playlist, which we call a set list because it's something you're going to play for the night, and convert that and send that out to your DJ software. So before we do that, we're going to click Connect Music Library, and EMPDJ has its own Windows software. You can download that. It's going to scan your hard drive, find all the songs in your hard drive, put the file locations, the BPMs, the key of all the songs, and then you're going to put it back into EMPDJ. And so EMPDJ knows which songs you have or don't have from the playlist that the customers created. So after you've done all of that, then you can actually go and export it to any one of these DJ softwares, Serato, Rekordbox, Virtual DJ, Tractor, MP3U file, whatever, right? And you can create as many playlists or set lists as you want per event. So here you can set them up and then export it to your DJ software. Some DJs, all they want to do is just be able to save time in the preparation of an event so that when they load in that playlist on the gig, they don't have to sit there and dig through and find all the songs. It's just automated. So it's a bit of a time saving thing, preparing for the event with the playlist. So another thing we can look at is we have the brochure. So what we have here is an online brochure which is automatically created. It's just a dynamic brochure, right? And you can use this to share it with customers. Now, this is a general sort of a global brochure, but it just has a set URL up here. But you can actually go and use an event-based one by putting a shortcode in your email. And what's going to happen is when people choose different services on your inquiry form and then get a quote, they click a link from the shortcode and it opens up this dynamic brochure, but with a customized quote. So they can literally approve that quote and go straight to the booking form. So that's a huge selling point. It's going to help you to close more sales by having a really nice presentable brochure, but it's not just a static PDF. It's a literal dynamic brochure where they can, basically choose what they want and action it and go on from there. Maybe watch a video, look at a gallery and help to, close that sale. Another couple of really cool features I will brush over is EMPDJ has an equipment management system. That's another thing that multi-ops need, right? So we're covering all bases with an equipment management system, being able to assign sets of equipment to DJs or to an event. That's really important. And, of course, I didn't even really look at the, services set up, but obviously, setting up your services, all of your packages, everything can be done here. And there's a million ways to do it. Let's say we're adding a service. There is different pricing types, price by quantity, hourly, base plus hourly, many different ways to price, and also pricing by occasion. So you can actually create very complicated rules based on occasion, event type, and even date-based rules. So you can say, after the 1st of January next year, the price is going up 10%, whatever it is. The other cool thing we have here is the song request tool. This is essentially a QR code song requests. We have a global QR code that you can use. This is something that you can put on your business cards. And so you've just got a static URL that people can request on, but then each individual event also has its own unique QR code. And the DJs, if you have DJs working for you, they have access to their own events, unique QR code that, they can use for events as well. So that's just a brief rundown of EMPDJ. As I said, I probably missed some things because there is a lot more to it. If you would like to accelerate your speed at getting started with EMPDJ, book in a call with me. I will be happy to meet you and help you get on board. EMPDJ will be attending the DJX Expo 2026 this year at the Hard Rock Cafe, Atlantic City. So come on down and say hi. We'll be on the showroom floor doing live demos. See you there.
Kids are screaming for the new. Bride is late, the planner's mad. All of them staring at you. I spin, sweat, repeat. Make their memories move in time. Smile big through the stress and the feast. Turn that chaos into shine. From the parking lot to the peak of the night, I'm the name they never see in the lights. Yeah, the life ain't easy on my feet, but I spin, sweat, repeat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Invoice due, they lost your mail. Say exposure like it pays. Mind on rent while tracks cross fade. Still you hype, I'm like you're getting raised. Rain is pouring on my gear. Backup drive, just save the day.